I think the reason change eludes so many people, whether it's a diet, whether it's stopping smoking, whether it's stopping drinking, whether it's stopping an affair, I think the reason that change, because they desire change, they don't want to be this way, but they say, I can't change. And so they give up because they don't realize that God can help them change. And when you take God out of the equation, then it does become an impossibility. They always say, I've never been in quicksand, but they always say that in quicksand, the more you try to get out yourself, the more you're going to sink. Mm-hmm. They say what you need to do is reach out your arms, reach out your legs, stretch out, because as you reach out, then you give yourself time to receive help, because you can't help yourself out of quicksand.
That's a great analogy.
And I think as we reach out to God, then we can receive the help that we need to be able to make positive changes. And that happened to me when I was 50. Good grief, I turned 50 and I did something I'd never done for years. I weighed myself. And I was just shocked to see how much weight I'd gained. Now in my mind, I knew I'd gained a little weight. I knew I looked a little more grandfatherly, but I just had kind of fooled myself into thinking it wasn't that much. And when I faced truth and realized that it had been too much, way too much, then I thought, I've got to do something about this. But then you get in that cycle of, okay, I'll try for a couple days and then I give up because I don't see the results. Oh, I was really good, but I didn't lose any weight, so where's the ice cream? Mm-hmm. You know, pass me those M&Ms.
Yeah, really.
And I was kind of in this little cycle when I spoke at an event up in the mountains at a big lodge, and the woman came up to me and said, do you remember me, Mr. Wilcox? I was in your 6th grade classroom. And she was one of my 6th graders.
This is Cody?
Cody.
Okay.
Cody Sanders. And she was one of my first 6th graders, the first year that I taught.
Wow.
And so we had a wonderful reunion and we talked about a lot of things. And she said, well, I know you love peanut M&Ms. Mm-hmm. So I brought you some peanut M&Ms. But she says, in good conscience, I can't give those to you without also giving you an offer to let me train you, because she has become a personal trainer. And so she had me run a 5K. Well, one thing that helped me was memorizing scriptures, because then as I'd run along, I'd kind of say the scriptures. And I have to laugh because no kidding, when I was crossing the finish line, I was reciting the psalm, you know, yea, that I walked through the valley of death. And there I was, and I felt like I was in the valley of death.
But you did it.
But I did it. And then she helped me set sights on a half marathon.
It's amazing.
And I just didn't know whether that was something I could do, you know, because I'd never been an athlete. I'd never been somebody who was physically active. And so this was a chance for me to make changes. And I realized that it had to be a spiritual journey. I had to pass through those days of creation as he was recreating me. And I had to turn to him. And I had to find my strength in him. And it was an eye-opening experience, because I realized that it wasn't just changing out here. It was changing in here. And it was changing in here.